Hello, I'm Bino. I'm glad you all enjoyed this series where I go over mods that I like aesthetically or for some other reason. I do think it is more laid back and I get more freedom with what mods I put there. Anyway, enough yapping. If you want this series to continue, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Shifted Lens. Shifted Lens is a mod that updates already existing Minecraft mods and adding a few new ones in the spirit of Minecraft. The biggest change you can see is definitely with the ghasts. These now have new textures, being more high quality. These more intimidating ghasts also have twice the health and are slightly faster than you'd expect. Behavior-wise, you'll notice that they stop when they are about to fire an Inferno charge, giving you a window of opportunity to shoot them right down. Inferno charges are bigger fire charges that can be crafted if you just add ghast tears into the recipe. And thrown. Fire charges can also be thrown as well. Keeping with the dry and hot theme, let's go to camels. Camels will spawn in deserts, rarely, not just inside the villagers anymore, and they will no longer take damage from cacti. And that makes sense since they eat it, but don't get too cocky, you can still be damaged. Now diving underwater, we got many mobs that you know that had their look completely changed. Guardians have new models, improved swimming, and glowing beams, making them a much more formidable foe. Fish themselves also have new models, with cod and salmon having even a couple new variants. These also have improved mob AI, so they behave much more like, well, fish. Despite squids not looking that different, they have arguably the biggest amount of changes. Their AI is improved so they don't constantly wash up and die. They have new animations so that you can watch them move more graciously in your aquariums. And they have a new cold variant. If you hit them, their ink actually gives out effects. Normal one will give you blindness, while the glow ink will give you glowing. Get it? You can also milk squids, which is a reference to an older version of the game having this. If you click on it with a water bucket, you are able to bucket them, but be aware, this mod is very new. And if you click on glow squid, your bucket will be sent into the void. Now to the new mobs. Baitfish are tiny fish that spawn in giant schools. This might be a bit overwhelming at first, but you can normally bucket them or cook and eat them. They are quite cool to look at though. Flying fish can be found in oceans and schools. Occasionally, they will go to the surface and glide along the water. When hurt, all nearby flying fish will go to the surface and try to glide away. Flying fish can also be bucketed or eaten, but not cooked. Why the fuck can these also be milked? And a weird kind of squid is here, the squills. They can be found floating around high in the sky, either alone or in large groups. Unlike their aquatic counterparts, squills are neutral and will attack when provoked. All nearby squill will hone in on their aggressor. When attacking, squill will circle above their opponent, occasionally turning around and charging with chattering teeth. If a squill is at or below 25% of health, they'll shoot out a burst of levitating ink and fly away for a short time before re-engaging. On death, squill can drop few different items. Their teeth can be used to make toothed snowballs. These deal damage on impact and apply a bit of freezing, which normal snowballs do now too. You can also brew these into levitation potions I used earlier. Whirligig is a thing that can be placed down and outputs a redstone signal based on the current weather. With stone and redstone, it can be crafted into the whirly boxes, which function like fans. And also can be crafted with leather into whirly caps, which will slow your fall and can lift you off the ground for a short duration. And rarely, these can drop this giant lollipop, which is a food item with 4 durability. When eaten, it gives 1 minute of speed 2, and reduces the remaining durability by 1.
Leave me alone! Ah! Akira!
Stone Veil, another 1.20.1 Forge mod that adds gargoyle statues. Gargoyle, not you, can appear as any of these 4 variants. These serve as really cool stone decorations for your house and fit really well with the new stone decorative blocks this mod adds. For some reason the mossy ones are called cracked and pillar is spelled with only one L, but I'm sure that will fix this soon. If a lighting strikes a Grumblow one, it turns into a living mob called Grumblow. These are small little goobers that like mostly 2 things. Firstly, putting on helmets, and second is scaring creepers. You can also convert them into pocket Grumblows if you need some for your journeys. These are especially handy in Stronghold because they scare not only creepers but also silverfish. By the way, all of these can be gotten if you put stone in a stone cutter. Chainmailed is a mod that finally makes the chainmail armor useful. Something Notch was planning to do at some point, but forgot, I guess. If you hold both chainmail and another type of armor in your hand, you can put the chainmail underneath said armor. This gains you a bonus to your armor equal to that of the chainmail that's been placed underneath, and a new attribute called Impact Resistance. It's a new attribute that negates all non-magic damage received by a flat amount, which is indicated with a special sound. You still can't craft these, so good luck gathering. Krau's weapon classes is the biggest mod I have on my list and arguably the best weapon / trinket adding mod out there. It adds quite the amount of all kinds of cool new weapons and trinkets sorted into 5 different weapon classes. So let's do a lightning round of them. Brawl class. Anchor, crafted like this. Anchor makes your fall trigger a shockwave and is much stronger underwater. Executioner sword. Executioner's sword will make your attacks on mobs below 50% of health give the haste effect and also do a shockwave, crafted like this. Hammer. Hammer makes your target launch upwards if you hit them while falling, and empower shockwaves on the target. Battle Axe will make you so that if you move 45 blocks, the next attack will cleave. Qatar. Every other attack thrusts. It can also parry, like the old swords. Weighted Bracers makes you become immune to knockback, and falling does a weak shockwave. Spring Boots makes your attack give jump boost. Now Rogue class. A dagger makes you be able to sneak strike unaware enemies, and attacks remove poison but deal bonus damage. Sickle. Sickle poisons the target. Scythe. If you sneak strike with a scythe, you can gain life and vanish after killing a mob. If you interact with a hand fan, you can do a whirlwind attack that gives invisibility. Bladed Bracers. You gain strength when leaving stealth mode. The problem with this item is I have not managed to figure out what stealth mode is. That's the problem of playing low download mods. There are no showcases of this and their page is just not telling me this. I'm sorry. Poison Belt doesn't function as you would expect it to, you know, poisoning your targets, but rather ignites anything already poisoned that you hit. It also has a chance of making it straight up explode. Archer class. Blast crossbows stack explosive on the target that only actually trigger when the mob is hit. This only works with blast arrows. Curving bow. When you shoot arrows with this, the arrows will basically auto-aim. Throwing axe. This axe can be thrown, and it will empower the next projectile that hits the target. Automatic crossbows. Okay, this is one of my favorite items from this. If you have it in your offhand, it will shoot an arrow every 25 blocks. This arrow being the auto-aim arrow, the homing arrow. So you can double wield and have a bow and this automatic crossbow, and they will both shoot at the same time. You gotta say that's pretty cool. Quiver. A quiver will add on to every third arrow you fire, also a homing arrow. So it shoots just extra arrows for you sometimes. You can see me not aiming directly at the mob and it still shoots them. Scout goggles. When you put on the scout goggles and hit something from 15 blocks away and more, it will apply glowing and the exposed effect on your target. Exposed effect is, by the way, the effect makes them more vulnerable to projectile damage. Duelist class. Unfortunately, the duelist class relies very heavily on parry function thing that I could not find at all what it is. So I don't know, there are some really cool weapons here, like Gauntlet, the Rapier, Tachi, which is something made out of ancient scrap, but I don't really know how these work. I'll do some follow-up if I find out how do these work exactly. And now to the last section, magic, which adds a new element system where applying 2 different elements triggers a reaction. If you start making a book and swap out amethyst for one of the papers, you get the grimoire. This grimoire then can be crafted into 3 different elemental types. With feather you can make the wind grimoire, with blaze powder you can get the flame grimoire, and with snowball you can get the frost grimoire. You can then use these to do a variety of attacks corresponding to the elemental powers. The wind one summons a mighty tornado, the flame one opens a pit to hell itself, and the ice one, it throws a ball. Finally, you can be a proper mage. With charcoal and a stick, you can make the wand. With the wand, you can shoot out fireballs. If you include one more stick, you can make the staff, which makes some ancient powers to smite your enemies. I think the wand and the staff are kinda OP. A little too OP, yeah. Because the staff doesn't even have durability, you can use it like infinite times. But I hope the mod expands on it in the future. If you get Totem of Everlasting, you can make the halberd out of it, which summons the Evoker Fang on anything you hit. If you find and hold the Blood Pendant, your ranged attacks will no longer take the durability of your grimoires. However, they will take your life instead. And lastly, the Flying Boots will make you fly if you hit something with a spell. Now you have these cool new weapons, that's great. But who could you use it against? Luckily, our next mod has the Orcs. You can find these guys as settlements in plains, swamp, and desert. And these can vary in sizes too. Camps, villages, or even towns. If you kill 1, or 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, you'll see that they drop orc chop that you can cook if you are fine with eating meat from something bipedal and a bit human-like. If you slay an orc using an axe, there is a chance for you to either get orc hair or orc fat. Golden axes have a greater drop chance of these. Orc fat is used to craft the weird carrot. Eating the weird carrot results in some of your status effects leveling up. Orc hair can be uncrafted into 2 string. You can also rarely find the orc patrols. Around with the second mob this mod adds, the Borg. Borgs are passive, but will defend themselves if threatened. They drop quite a lot of orc fat, and have a chance of dropping a tusk. The Borg tusk can be used to create a tusk dagger that can pierce through armor. These carrots can also be combined into a crate. Are you fond of these ancient beasts? Do you like living in the frigid, frost-stricken lands? Do you feel like they don't fit there, color-wise, and that fact makes you sad? Well, now we can kickstart 1.21.1 mods of this video with the Snowy Sniffer. It is a very small and simple mod that adds a singular thing, the ability for sniffers to have snow on top of them. It was actually suggested by one of you watching our YouTube shorts, so thanks. If you then want to unsnow them, you can use the shovel, and it'll get you a few snowballs. Alternatively, you can just heat them up, and this will melt all the snow on them. Also, you can see the babies shiver when they have snow on them, so you better keep it off. When you open up your inventory, you immediately see the amount of items have been trimmed down significantly. The new release mod Clutter No More condenses some items into themselves. If I take cut copper, some wood, stone, and even a modded item like lapis bricks from supplementaries, you can see the new menu I can sort through by pressing the left Alt button. This allows for storing many similar items much better and makes your building just so much easier. Do not worry, as this also works in survival, so you can scroll with the first wood logs you mine and store all these different types of blocks in one slot. This mod also adds new types of block shapes like vertical slabs and these things. I very much recommend trying it out. It is really cool, and I hope some mod pack will make use of this in the future. This is it for this mod showcase. Hopefully some of these mods made you happy as well. Be sure to tell me what did you like most about them in the comments, and I'll see you again soon. Also, if you want a mod you like to get featured in these videos, post it on our Discord server in this channel. Bye!